Hey everybody, I am Scotty J. Welcome back to Rock Titan Live. We have got an awesome show for you today. It's a little bit different. I do not have a rock star with us today in the sense that he is a musician that you would all know and love. However, I do have a rock star in the sense that he is one of the most prominent people in the YouTube podcast space today. Now, I don't want to just isolate him to YouTube because his podcast is on every single platform you can imagine. Amazon, iTunes, all of it. It's all over the place. But we caught up. Oh God, it was probably maybe a year ago, maybe a little bit more, but it was so funny because he had reached out to me asking about Rock Titan and how I'm doing Rock Titan, picking my brain, and now all of a sudden this guy is literally one of the, like I said, most prominent, dare I say, famous podcasters in doing reaction videos for bands, musicians, new videos, new songs. He's got it down. I mean, and just go check him out and you'll know what I'm saying, that it's real. I'm envious. I told this guy not too long ago, I am very envious. But ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by Anton Czachor. Anton, how are you?
Good, man. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, good. Anton C. Anton C is how everybody knows you. Because I should have said, ARC Vision Reactions. That is one of your channels on YouTube. But then you have other channels as well, yeah?
Yeah, so pretty much I have my Arc Vision Reactions, which is the reaction channel, and then I have the Arc Vision podcast, which used to be part of Arc Vision Media, and then I pretty much split those things in two just because the demographics were pretty much completely different. So decided to do that.
Now, I have to say, your rise in attention, I'll say, has been, for me, just wild, because like I told the audience in the opening monologue here just a moment ago, I mean, when you and I first caught up, I wouldn't say like maybe a year ago or so, you were in the beginning. I'll just say, I won't say how many subscribers you had. That shouldn't matter, but you were in your infancy. You were in the beginning, and maybe I gave the appearance of being a little more established, which, everybody who's watching, yeah, right, go look at my numbers, go look at Anton C's numbers, you'll be like, what? This guy actually ever wanted to reach out and talk to you? But yeah, he did, and now he's doing absolutely amazing. But what I didn't necessarily have a full grasp on at the time you and I first started talking was what it was you were actually going to be doing. Now, I was familiar with reaction video podcast formats. There are some other people in that bubble, if you will, that specialize in that. That's what they do. That's what their channel is all about. What made you want to get into the reaction, to new music, new bands, new videos? What led you there?
It pretty much started like 2 years ago. Maybe even 3 years ago, man. I came across these reaction things, and I was watching a lot of like Vin and Sorry, Alex Hefner, a lot of these like metal reactors. And dude, like on paper, it sounded so dumb. Like you're just like watching someone listen to music, and it was almost embarrassing to tell people what you're doing. Like, oh, hey man, what are you doing? Well, I'm watching somebody watch a music video that I like. But yes, dude, straight up, it was like it was infectious. There was just something that, like, especially me, like loving music so much, just seeing, especially Alex. I think Alex Hefner played the biggest part in my DNA. And so I've been watching Alex and Vin and Sorry and a couple others for about 2 years. And I never thought I'd be doing it because at that point I wanted to be like a teacher and then I wanted to be a counselor. Like I was very much like in the system. I was in university doing like a 5-year psychology degree, education degree. And I thought that's what my life is going to be. And then all of a sudden, man, I'm just one day, there's about 2 years ago, I'm pretty fucking depressed at this point. And I'm just like, okay, I need to drop out of school. Like I need to get out of this. I don't want to do this. I know what I want to do, but I know I didn't want to do that. So I withdrew pretty much like a couple weeks later. And then I didn't know what I wanted to do. So then I just literally traveled the world. I went to New Zealand, I went to British Columbia, and I started just traveling and, you know, finding yourself pretty much. And then when I came back, I was talking with my mom because I was trying to figure out like what the hell I'm going to do, because I knew I wanted to do something to do with like public speaking at that point. I thought I maybe wanted to be a professor, so I thought maybe I was going to be going back to school. But I don't know, man. I was super into Joe Rogan at that point. Like I was just listening to Joe fucking like 3 hours a day, man. Just all the time.
I do too. Yeah. No, yeah, he's great. I mean, the guests he get, the format that he has. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Now, I'm not going to say I'm too wild about his stand-up comedy. And Joe, you know, if you happen to watch this, I think your podcast is amazing. Your comedy, well, you've made a lot of money in your podcast. So obviously you're a very happy man, and I'll just leave it right there. But yeah, no, I mean, he is definitely a model for success in the space that you and I are in, for sure.
Yeah. And so like pretty much like I started to have this idea. I was like, okay, I want to do podcasts. Like it was the podcast came before the reactions. Right. And then when I was looking into Alex Hefner, I realized, okay, this is a guy who he even told everybody, he's like, my real thing, what I want to do with this is vlogs. I want to be a vlogger, but I know that no one's going to give a shit about my vlog if I just be a vlogger, right? So he created this reaction channel, and I said, okay, there's something there. Because if I try to do a podcast from day one, who's going to click on it?
Right.
You know, no one knows me. I don't even have like a big degree or anything. So, okay. So I was like, I love these reactions. I'll just, you know what? I'll try a reaction channel. I've been witnessing them for kind of 2 years. And what happened was I was kind of terrified at the same time. So I called up my buddy Taryn, and I was like, hey man, want to start a reaction channel with me? And he's like, that kind of terrifies me. And I'm like, okay, cool, we're doing it. So I talked him into it. So pretty much I talked him into it, and then we recorded some stuff, and yeah, it was terrible. It was really bad. And I remember doing like a reaction to Killing Me Slowly by Bad Wolves, and it was just, yeah, it wasn't too good. And so what happened was COVID hit, and then we couldn't see each other. And then I was like, and by the way, man, I reached out to you 8 months ago. It wasn't even over a year ago.
Okay, it feels like it. It feels like
dude,
it. Yeah.
I know. It feels like a while. But so COVID hit. And then I was like, I remember my mom, she was just like, because I was like, you know what? I guess I'm going to have to figure out this thing with COVID. Maybe it's going to last 2 weeks. You know what I mean? This was back the first lockdown, bro. Like it was going to last 2 weeks. I was and then I'll go back and literally hang out with Taryn.
Yeah.
And so what happens is we started to get these ideas like, okay, this is going to be a bit longer than we were thinking. And so I was kind of like, okay, I'll put this on hold. And my mom's like, I really think you should try this solo. I think you should do it yourself. And I was like, okay. You know, I already had this in the back. I was going to do my thing with Taryn and then do that for a year or 2 years, pick up a fan base, and then go solo. So I'm like, okay, this just kind of puts up my timeline. So then I said, okay, what can I do? Okay, I'll do the reactions. That'll be my main source of content. I'll do like one podcast a week. And then hopefully my reaction stuff, they'll end up digging my podcast and follow me there. And at the same time, I was thinking, okay, everybody on YouTube that's doing reactions is like hype men. They're always doing these rah, high energy. I love that stuff. Like that was Alex's bread and butter. He was incredible at that. Right. But I was like, okay, what if I could take Alex's energy and then mix it with Joe Rogan's kind of philosophical, long form outlook and almost have deeper conversations about the music? Because I'm like, okay, I have a psych background. I might be able to do something with this. And then so that's kind of actually how this all came to be, is I was trying to merge these two things together. And then what happened is that didn't happen at first. Because again, my confidence wasn't there. I was really kind of insecure. I was just kind of listening to music. But I find with the last 4 months, I finally got to the point with my content where I'm like fully me. And the vision I had in my head is actually happening as we speak right now. That's
awesome. That is so dang cool, man. And I mean, so as far as music goes, from a reactionary standpoint, what made you choose music? And I guess what goes into your thought process over like what artists and what songs, what kind of content you're going to be critiquing, you know? Because I mean, critiquing, reaction, I mean, that's essentially what it is. what goes into that thought process that you decide what your focus is going to be for that particular episode?
Yeah. So, pardon me. When I was starting out, I was doing everything. I was doing stand-up comedy reactions. I was doing rock reactions. I was doing classic rock, pop, rap. Scotty, I was doing everything.
Right.
And because I was trying to figure out, like, what am I? What am I good at? And I wanted, like, I am quite broad in my interests. Like, I'm a nerd. I play video games. I read comic books. I read books. Like, and I listen to music, and I'm into sports and fitness. And, like, I'm just this, like, weird amalgamation of things, very broad. And so, and I knew on the podcast, I wanted to get on authors. I wanted to get on musicians. I wanted to get on actors. I knew down the road, I want to talk with creative people, just across any discipline. And so when I was doing it, I was like, okay, like, I want to, because I saw Alex too, because what happened with Alex is he started off purely metal and then he tried to incorporate other things, and he got really, his fan base like lashed out at him. They said, we don't want rap. We don't want this and that. And I said, okay, I need to crack this open from the get-go and just be like, look, guys, I'm doing everything, just so people can't put me in a box. And then after, I can choose the direction I want to go in. But I have to leave that open so everybody knows that. And especially, when you're starting out, your confidence is low. You don't really trust yourself, and people can easily sway your content. They can say, do this, do this, do this. And so
when you're first starting out, only when you're first starting out? I've been doing this for a while, dude. Yeah. No, it has nothing to do with when you're first starting out. But no, I think it's funny that, I mean, you talk about your diversity. Ladies and gentlemen, I just got to tell you right now, Anton's out there in Canada. Where are you in Canada?
Pretty much north of Toronto, south of Barrie.
Okay. All right. I was out in Toronto a couple summers ago. It was the summer before this whole chaos hit. That's a fun town. But, obviously we're trading barbs earlier that you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Yeah! Philadelphia Eagles fan from Canada. Man, I've been blasting them lately over this draft because everybody that watches, I bleed green. And I got to throw a shameless plug out there for our man, Vinnie Moore, who's one of the greatest guitarists on the face of the planet Earth. Obviously you know him as a guitarist with UFO, amazing solo guitarist, and he is a die-hard bleeding green Eagles fan too. So we are watching this going back and forth like, what? So anyway, back to you, Anton, back to you. I just had to give some people some context over the true diversity, that you do have, and, leading that back to how you decided to focus on what you're focusing on now, because I'm terrible at that. Everyone knows I have ADHD. I'm all over the map. I'm guilty of that. Just now, I'm like, woo, see, I'm off the reservation. But what made you? So you decided to focus on what you're doing right now, yeah?
Yeah. So, well, I'll just say that I have ADHD too. Like, I'm right there with you. But yeah, when it comes to like, how did I end up with pretty much the content I have now, because it changed a lot. Before I was doing Mondays was comedy. Right. Tuesdays was, I think, rock and metal. And it was one day, or actually at the very beginning, Scotty, it was 4 days a week was rock and metal. And then it was like one day classic rock, one day comedy, one day pop. And pop and country were kind of the same thing. And I just realized like I found the stand-up comedy stuff a bit stressful because it was good when I laughed, but if like, you know what I mean? It's like if you're watching a stand-up comedy and you're not laughing, like it sucks. You know what I mean? You're just kind of like, this is garbage. So I was like, okay, like just the hit or miss nature of that was a bit off, and no one really cared. When I looked at the numbers, the views could be high, but no one was subscribing. Probably because I realized I was only doing it once a week. So then I like the first thing I did was like axed off stand-up comedy. And then I put that day to, I think, like pop or something. And then what happened was I realized that out of like the rock and metal stuff, oddly enough, man, as I start, like a fan base started to grow around me. I didn't choose it. I thought my fan base was going to be rock and metal. I thought it was going to be rock metal heads all day long and, some fun pop stuff. But I realized that like a lot of my fans ended up being like pop fans and classic rock, classic pop, like sensitive types, like really in-depth, sensitive, emotional kind of stuff. And I realized that, okay, people love when I psychoanalyze like the ballads. They love it when I really kind of dive deep into the emotional stuff. Because I think with my psych background, that's just kind of who I am. I do a bit of the hype stuff, but that's not really me. I'm way more passionate about something that makes me feel something that makes me kind of like really emotional inside. And I found like that's what I really am. And so what I did is I actually, as my confidence grew, I started to take off a rock and metal day here, because also I realized that subscribers, not even the number of subscribers, but the actual ratio per view to subscriber was highest on classic rock. Wow. So even if a video got 5 views, it would get like 1 subscriber. And then like with a rock and metal song, if it got 1,000 views, it would get like 5 subscribers. So I was like, okay, there's something here that for some reason, the people that love my content, they're in pop and they're in kind of the more emotional rock metal stuff. Okay. And they're in that classic rock, they're in their pop, like the Kelly Clarksons, the Avril Lavignes, they love my stuff for some reason. Yeah. So then
I've noticed.
Yeah, dude, Kelly Clarkson is a massive hit.
She's massive. Man. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and like I want to get on her show. That's actually one of my big things is I want to get on Kelly's show. Like some of my community have actually like put me on the ticket list for Kelly.
Okay.
They're trying to get me on the show and stuff. Yeah, and so pretty much to answer your question short, that's what happened. I just like, as my confidence grew and I got the balls to pretty much go, okay, like I axed rap because I was like, honestly, I think I suck at doing the rap stuff. I have ADHD. I get like, by the time they're done the song, I've figured out the first verse.
Right.
I get it. And then like the song's over and they're like, bro, why didn't you analyze the music video and the rapping style and the lyrics and the flow? I'm like, dude, I got ADHD. I focus on one thing at a time, or like I'm bouncing around. So I'm like, rap is just fucked, man. That's stressful to me. So,
good on you, Anton, because I'll tell you right now, like when I'm talking to artists, I'll talk about their music and how I like it and everything like that. But in terms of like a full scientific, biological dissection of the music, there's no way I'm breaking that down. No way. You know? Because, I mean, even as it is, I'll have people try, why didn't you ask him this? Why didn't you ask him that? I'm like, I'm sorry. I haven't been the student of music that you've been obviously your whole life. But, if you want, certainly leave a comment in the video and maybe I'll be able to catch up with this person again. And, I'll ask him that question just for you. Or better yet, start up your own channel, Mr. Know-It-All. But, so for you, so did you go with more of what you were truly passionate about inside, or was it more what was trending, or a hybrid of both?
Definitely at first it was what was popular.
Okay.
Definitely when I was first starting out, I was chasing new songs like mad. I was doing Justin Bieber reactions constantly because I'm like, Bieber, and hey, don't get me wrong, some of his stuff is pretty good. Like Holy's actually a good song, but it hit or miss. Like I'd like a song and then I'd be like, honestly guys, this is really not my thing. And I didn't even have the confidence to say that. So I would literally yeah, you got more balls than I do, man. But yeah, I'd straight up be like I'd be doing these like fucking Justin Bieber a lot, and like I was doing a lot of pop. I didn't like, and I was just like, I got depressed for like a month. I was just kind of like, bro, I would look at my fucking camera and I'd like just get anxiety. I'd be like, I don't even want to make a video today. Like it was pretty brutal because I could feel like deep down I was selling my soul. I was doing what I wasn't passionate about. And finally it came to like a kind of an ultimatum where I was like, oh, look guys, I'm going to stop chasing new stuff. Like I'm going to really hone in on what the hell I actually like. Because if I'm going to be doing this long term, I'm going to be paying for my kids' college down the line. Like right. I got to like this. I got to enjoy this. And so I just stopped chasing shit. And I just really like, and dude, the views tumbled for a certain point of like, for 3 weeks or a month, the views just plummeted. And I was just, bro, it was stressful because I was like, is this thing done? Like, you know what I mean? Does no one care anymore? And then after like kind of I regained that integrity, a new kind of like a real community start building around me. Like I never had a community before. Yeah. I had these wisps of people that would come and go, and they would, say, do this. And then what happened is when I started just doing my shit, people actually started to vibe with it. And now I have a really strong community. Like,
yes, you
rock solid. And they are amazing.
That's awesome.
And they stick by me. Like even the Patreon stuff, people, like, it's insane. They pay me money to like listen to music and to do album reactions. And I'm like, I don't take that for granted. I'm like, I'm so happy I did that. I'm so happy that I fucked up in the beginning so that I didn't have to pull that, that cast of all those problems 5 years down the road and then try to shed my skin after I have 1 million subscribers.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm so happy I fucked up at 5,000 and then got back on my footing. And then now we're burning through like the 20,000s and stuff. Like,
yeah, you are. Yes, you are. So everybody, again, we're here with Anton C. You know him as Anton Czachor, or you know him as Anton C. He is Anton Czachor, and he's got ARC Vision Reactions. That is the YouTube channel. Make sure you go check that out. But we're going to be providing the links to all of the other platforms where you'll be able to find his podcasts and all the reaction videos that he does, because they are very entertaining and informative, educational, because, like you just heard from the man right now, he, he's got a background in psychology. He's a professional and messing with people's heads and breaking things down, so I think that's absolutely awesome. But one of the things I'm curious about, Anton, because this is something that, you kind of reached out to me about in the past, you were hoping to build your presence up where you certainly are now, to the point where you were actually going to meet some of these artists that actually produced the music that you're having a reaction to. Has that happened? Have you actually been able to meet some of these artists that you've, analyzed their work?
Yes and no.
Who would be the most high profile? Who would be like one of the biggest?
Trenton Woodley of Hands Like Houses, I think. I think he'd be the biggest.
All right. Well, I know you wanted to catch up with From Ashes to New.
Yeah, I did, for sure.
Did that happen?
No, I wasn't able to get through. I messaged Danny on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, I think. Who knows? I stopped caring. There was a point there, man, where I was really attached to getting people on. I was having a lot of stress and stuff. But after a while, I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to build up the reaction stuff. I'm going to literally get to the point where people will start coming to me and I don't have to chase people down and stress myself out. And
that's awesome.
And I'm just letting it happen, man. Like I'm just letting it happen now.
That's it. Going the organic route is definitely one of the best routes, and I've lived through it myself. I mean, when I first started this whole Rock Titan thing, I had hair. On my head. Now, so it all transplanted. My hair just kind of fell down around my face. So, it's all good. But I will say this about From Ashes to New. They are great. I'm going to hook you guys up. Matt Brandenberry, great guy. Danny, awesome dude. Great new album that just came out this past year. But Matt, he is a diehard Eagles fan. They're from out in my neck of the woods. So, hey, man, Bleeding Green Nation. We all got to stick together, man. So it's amazing how it all comes together. So, man, so you're building this ARC Vision Reactions empire, but ARC, you have other, I guess, branches off of this, yes?
Yeah, for sure. I have the art, like, I fucked up at the beginning and I had all caps on ARC. So I was always to me ARC Vision. Right. And then I screwed up. I put all caps. So everybody now says ARC. I'm like, damn, I have to figure that out down the road. And then YouTube won't let me change my name anymore.
I know. You get to a point and you're like, what are you going to do? So what would you have preferred it to be?
ARC. Like A, capital A, and then RC. So.
Okay, well, ARC. So I'm saying ARC. You know what, man? These acronyms, they are used way too much, man. People whip an acronym out on me, and I'm like, what? I don't even know what that means. LOL? What? SMDH, what? I don't know. it's too overused. I don't know when it's a word, when it's an acronym, an abbreviation, initials. I don't know, But so for ARC Vision Reactions, it's really ARC Vision Reactions.
Yeah.
But then you have other ARC channels as well.
Yeah. So pretty much like my company holding name, like the name of the business I actually have with the government and everything and on everything is ARC Vision Media. So that's like the main company is ARC Vision Media, and then below ARC Vision Media is ARC Vision Reactions, ARC Vision Podcast, and I'm gonna be doing another one. I have to figure out what I want to call it,
Cool.
Or I might actually down the road just merge everything into ARC Vision Media. I don't know. I'm figuring out what my options are, because I might want to get into reviews and stuff. Because like I said, I'm really big into like TV and comic books and books and stuff. And
that's awesome.
Everyone who knows me a lot is like, you're really passionate about writing, and everyone's telling me to write books, like, because they're like, yeah, you know how writing works. Because again, psychological mind, I'm always dissecting things, right. Plots of movies, plots of TV shows, books. I know all the syntax. I know how everything works. I know how to write everything. And so I have this big part of myself that like I read like an hour and a half a day. You know what I mean? Like I read a lot.
Right.
And so it's like, I know down the road, after I get, big enough where I can hire someone to do my editing and hire someone to do all the back stuff, I can just, I know, bro. I can't wait. And you can't wait too, man. It's going to happen to you. I promise. Scotty, it's going to happen. But when that happens, I'll have more time for creativity, and then I'll just be able to really just hone in on just doing what I love. Because I'm creative. I have ADHD. I don't like the admin stuff.
Yeah, dude, that's me too. And the funny thing is, I do the admin stuff for a living. But I swear, if any of the people that I actually work with in the professional world, I really do love what I do. I swear, I do, and I do. I always do great work. This is what I do for my own comedic, self-healing, soothing,
Yeah.
This is what I do for fun. This is how I just let it all out, because I couldn't act like this in my day job. You kidding me right now? It'd be like, Scott, we need to see you in HR, like immediately. And Scott, it's been great, but get the hell out of here before we call the cops. Seriously, that kind of thing. But no, so you're amazing in the podcast world. And you're talking about writing. I'm a writer. I actually went to school originally for, sports journalism specifically. Wow. So I'm a writer. And everyone that's been out to rocktitan.tv, the website, knows not only do I have the Rock Titan podcast, but I review new albums and videos, and I write stories on concert experiences and stuff like that all the time. I try to write as much as I can, because I really enjoy that. So do you have a blog? Do you have an ARC blog?
I did, but it wasn't consistent enough. My true passion. I don't think I'll be a blogger.
Okay.
My true passion is the talking. I'm a talker, clearly. So I just focus on this stuff, and even because I don't know if you know, I've started to dabble in album reviews on the channel on ARC Vision Reactions. Mm-hmm. I've only done one to Starset Vessels. But I love that because I have that analytical side where I can dissect a song, and on one hand I can grasp a song really well, but I also love dissecting albums and the ebbs and flows, the journeys of albums, and how different songs feed into one another. I love albums as a whole collection, a whole experience. So I do also am going to be getting more into that, is just spoken reviews, because I need to speak. If I write the review down, I can do that, but I need to get in front of a camera. That's where my creativity comes out.
I'm the same way. Well, Anton, it has been awesome talking to you, man. And finally to get to meet you and see you in person, because I know we'd been exchanging emails. And again, it was so flattering to have you come to me and ask me, how you're doing Rock Titan and everything like that. And I'm like, well, these are some ideas and stuff like that. And now it's like, man, I'm watching you. I'm researching you. I'm taking notes. I'm like, oh my God, look at this dude. So everybody, again, ARC Vision Reactions, go check him out, Anton C. And he's got great stuff out there. He covers a lot of music in the very genres that we're talking about. Kelly Kelly Clarkson. You know, I know that, you know, you guys are tight. You guys are, you know, bosom buddies, no doubt by now. But you got to get on her show. I hope that happens. But, you know, it's just been very, very cool talking to you. And I can't wait to see what the future holds. I mean, I hope you're able to make a living out of this and send your kids to college on it. I wish I could do that. You know, I mean, that would be cool. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's so fun for me talking to musicians, talking to other artists like yourself, because that is who and what you are. You're an artist, you know, whether you're writing music, whether you're critiquing music. I mean, you rely on that creative part of your brain to do what it is that you do. And I think that's absolutely awesome. And I'm a huge advocate of it. And Anton, I wish you nothing but the best, man.
Thank you, Scotty. This was a lot of fun, man. And like I said, bro, you're charismatic. You have quite the energy about you, dude.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, a lot of people are like, dude, how many Red Bulls has Scotty J had today? How many Monsters, Red Bulls, cocaine? Some dude actually commented on an interview that I did with oh God, who the heck was it? I'm drawing a total blank on the actual interview right now. Of course, me, right? Of all people. No, Clutch. I interviewed Clutch. One of my favorite bands, absolutely awesome. And they commented, they're like, I guarantee you Scott had like 2 8-balls before he went on and did that interview. And I'm like, no, man. If you knew me at all, you would know there is no way I touch anything that is a stimulant. Because as you know, yeah, I don't need any help in the stimulation department. If I did anything like that, I would be like a horror show. You would watch my heart literally explode out of my chest. I cannot handle that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I appreciate you saying that, Anton. And yeah, no, we're kindred spirits. And again, I love to see the success that you've had. And I enjoy your reviews and your reactions. You know, I don't have the balls to do that. I don't have the balls to do that, you know, so you do. I don't. But in any event, everybody, if you've enjoyed this podcast between myself and Anton, see you today, which I have every confidence you had, and I hope you took some things away from it, you know. I hope you learned some things. We've got the links in here for Anton, and I know he's very friendly and open about, you know, what he does and how he does it. So if you have any questions for him, go hit him up, and again, we'll have the links there. So go check out his podcast, go check out the links to all his material, and if you have any questions for me, hit me up. I'm more than happy to talk to you. I love to converse. I love making new friends. I love making new enemies too, you know. So everybody, again, I'm Scotty J. You're watching Rock Titan Live. We're out.